Okay, so let's refresh our memory on the 5 types of chemical reactions because this entire flashback is going to ask you to identify these 5 types based on their definitions. So our first one is synthesis. Now, synthesis, if you remember, is when 2 or more elements come together to form one new compound or product. So synthesis, 2 or more elements come together to form one new compound or product. Decomposition, that's when a compound reacts with heat or light and it breaks down into its separate elements. So a compound can react with heat or light, for an example, and when it does that, it'll break down into its separate elements. Our third type of chemical reaction is single replacement, and that's what SR stands for. Single replacement reaction is when a single element trades places with another element that has a like charge. When that happens, it'll form a new compound and a new single element. Okay, so our fourth type of chemical reaction is double replacement reaction. That's what DR stands for. And that's when an element from one compound is going to trade places with an element that has a like charge from another compound. And when that happens, it forms 2 new compounds. Okay, so let's recap. Double replacement. When an element from one compound trades places with an element that has the same type of charge from another compound, and when that happens, it forms 2 new compounds. Finally, our fifth and final type of reaction is combustion reaction. Combustion reactions are very straightforward. That's when a hydrocarbon, which is the CH, when a carbon bonds with a hydrogen, and you can have any numbers here for your subscripts, but hydrocarbon, when a carbon is bonded to a hydrogen, and then it reacts with oxygen gas, which is O2. When that happens, it's always going to form the same products every single time. And those 2 products are carbon dioxide, which is CO2, and water, which is H2O. The reason why combustion is very straightforward because it's very, very predictable. The same thing is going to happen every single time. A hydrocarbon reacts with oxygen gas to always give you the products CO2 and H2O. Now that you have been refreshed on the 5 types of chemical reactions, you can use this to answer the questions correctly on your flashback.